Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Grade 4 English class. How are you all doing today? So, in the previous class, we learned the story, A Tortoise Love, based on Shakespeare's King Lear. And there was a homework to do the reading comprehension exercise. I hope all of you have submitted your answers through Microsoft Teams. So, today, we'll continue with the exercise. We'll be discussing vocabulary, grammar, listening and speaking sections today. So all of you please turn to page number 8 in your textbook. You can see a small note under the heading vocabulary. Let me read out the note to you. Towards the end of his life, King Lear realized he had wronged Cordelia. Forgive me, my child, for I am old and foolish, he said to Cordelia. In other words, he said sorry to his daughter. There are many ways in which we can say sorry or thank you, and there are many ways to respond to them. So in the story we saw, when King Lear realized his mistake, he apologized to his daughter. He said forgive me, my child, for I am old and foolish. He was saying sorry to her. So words like sorry, thank you, or please are called courtesy words. What do you mean by courtesy? Courtesy means showing politeness in one's attitude or behavior towards others. And courtesy words are used to show politeness, respect, or to give credit to others. When do we use the word sorry? We may use sorry to admit a mistake, to apologize, or when we feel sympathy towards others. And how do you respond to sorry? We can say, it doesn't matter. It is okay. There are many ways to respond to sorry. Similarly, when we use the word thanks or thank you to represent our gratitude or consideration towards others, you can respond by saying, anytime, it's okay, no worries. So there are many ways to respond to thanks or thank you. And when do we use please? To make a polite request or order, we may use the word please. And you can respond to it like, sure. So here, in the vocabulary section, there is an exercise. Let me read out the question to you. Fill in the blanks with an appropriate word from the box. You can see a few words are given there in the box. Let me read out the words to you. Thanks, apologize, welcome, afraid, matter, okay, sorry, worry. So using the appropriate word from among these, you have to fill in the blanks for these sentences. So the first question, A says, I'm so late. I have missed the bus now, haven't I? And then B replies, yes, but it doesn't dash. You can catch the next bus. So A was expressing a concern. A missed the bus. And B was trying to console A. So which word can be used here to fill in this blank? You can write yes, but it doesn't matter. So let me read out once again. I'm so late, I'll miss the bus now, haven't I? Yes, but it doesn't matter. You can catch the next bus. So I hope this is clear to you. Let me read out the next question. For question number 2, A says, I upset her because I said she looked terrible in that dress. And then B says, that wasn't very nice. I think you should dash. What A is saying that he or she realized making a mistake by saying a terrible comment to someone else. To which B replies, it wasn't very nice of A. Since a mistake was done, what we should do? When you do a mistake, you have to apologize, right? So you can use the word apologize here. So it goes like, that wasn't very nice. I think you should apologize. So similarly, we can fill in the blanks of the following sentences using appropriate words taken from among the choices given. Now let's move on to the grammar section. So there is a small note given here. Let me read it out to you. You already know that the common nouns are names of people, animals, places, and things. For example, king, daughter, prison. Proper nouns are names of a particular person, place, or thing. For example, Lear, Cordelia, Goneril. Collective nouns are names used for groups of people, animals, or things. For example, a bunch of geese, a flock of sheep, a team of players. So this grammar section talks about nouns and its types. So what do you mean by a noun? A noun is a word that names something such as a person, place, thing, or idea. And nouns can be of different types like proper nouns, common nouns, or collective nouns. Now, what do you mean by a proper noun? A proper noun is the specific name of a person, place, or a thing. And the first letter of a proper noun is always capitalized. Let's see a couple of examples. Remy is a tall girl. You see this word Remy? This is the name of this specific girl. So, this is an example of a proper noun. Now, Kashmir is a beautiful place. Here in this sentence, it talks about that particular place called Kashmir. So, Kashmir is an example of a proper noun. Now, what do you mean by a common noun? A common noun or a generic noun is a generic name of an item in a class or group, and it is not capitalized. The first letter will not be capitalized unless it comes in the beginning of a sentence. So, in the case of a common noun, if the sentence does not begin with the common noun, the first letter will not be capitalized. Let's see some examples. The pencil is on the table. The word pencil is a generic name or a common name. A table is also a common name. It does not specify which particular table or which particular pencil. So these two are examples. Pencil and table are examples of common nouns. Now, the girl crossed the river. The word girl is a common noun and the word river is also a common noun. These two words does not specify which particular girl or which particular river. So I hope this is clear to you. Now, what do you mean by collective nouns? A collective noun denotes a group or collection of people or things. Let's see some examples. A pride of lions. So, a pride denotes a group of lions. So, this is an example of a collective noun. A flock of sheep. Here, a flock denotes a group of sheep. So, that is another example of a collective noun. So, here in this grammar section, you have an exercise to identify the proper nouns, common nouns, and the collective nouns and write them in the correct columns. Remember, all sentences do not have the three types of nouns. So what you're asked to do here, you can see 8 sentences here. You have to read each sentence carefully to identify a proper noun, a common noun, or a collective noun. It's not necessary that every sentence contains all these 3 types of nouns. So once you identify a proper noun or common noun or collective noun, you can write it down in the space provided below the sentences. So the first sentence, do not disturb that hive of bees. Are you able to identify a proper noun there? Do you see any proper noun there? No. What about a common noun? Do you see the word bees there? The word bees is a common noun. So in the space provided for writing common nouns, you can write the word bees in your textbook. And you see the phrase a hive of bees. A hive is an example of a collective noun. So in the space for listing down collective nouns, you can write hive. So similarly, go through all the sentences given below and identify the proper common or collective nouns in each case and note them down in the space provided there. Now let's move on to the next section, page number 10. Here, there's a small note. This is about subject and predicate. You see a small symbol given there at the top right side where it says subject and predicate. If you access the digital content of this textbook, you can click on the symbol there to learn more about this topic. Let me read out the dot to you. Read these sentences. Cordelia was surprised to meet King Lear. Lear looked at her in astonishment. Who is doing something in the first sentence? So you can see 2 sentences given there. The first one, Cordelia was surprised to meet King Lear. So in this sentence, who is doing some action there? Cordelia. And what was the action that she was doing there? She was surprised to meet King Lear. So in the first sentence, who is it that we are talking about? It's about Cordelia. And she was surprised to meet King Lear. So in the first sentence, Cordelia is the subject, the one who is doing. And was surprised to meet King Lear. That part is the predicate. So the subject tells us about the person or the thing that is doing the action. Similarly, in the second sentence, Leah is the subject and looked at her in astonishment is the predicate. The predicate tells us something about the subject, such as the action done by the subject or how the subject is. Let's see that once again. Subject and predicate. What do you mean by subject? Subject is who or what the sentence is about. And predicate means what the subject is doing or what the subject is. So here in this section, there is an exercise. It reads, circle the subject and underline the predicate in these sentences. One has been done for you. So the first sentence given here, the crocodile swam lazily in the river. So what is this sentence about? This sentence is about the crocodile. So here the subject is the crocodile. And what the subject is doing will be the predicate part of the sentence. So the subject crocodile is doing what? The crocodile swam lazily in the river. So the predicate part is swam lazily in the river. The subject is the crocodile. So similarly, the next one, the sun shone brightly. So who is it we are talking about in this sentence? Here, this sentence is about the sun. So the subject here is the sun. And what is the sun doing? The sun shone brightly. So what did the subject do? The subject, the sun shone brightly. So shone brightly is the predicate here. So in your textbook, you can circle the subject, the sun, and underline the predicate, that is shone brightly. Now, there are a few more sentences given below this. You have to go through each of these sentences and circle the subject and underline the predicate in each case. You can complete this exercise yourself. Now let's move on to the next section. This is the listening exercise and this is listening for details. So before moving to this section, let me remind you, when you access the digital content, you'll be able to see a small symbol along with this heading listening. So when you click on that symbol, you'll be able to listen to a poem. The same poem I'm going to read out here. If you want to listen to it once again, you can do it from the digital content. Now listen carefully. A little child needs her father for many a little thing, for math, health and bicycle rides, and bathing in forest springs. A little child needs her mother for many a little want, for lots of love, food and fun, and all the things father can't. But a little child needs them both to teach her right from wrong, to love her and help her be kind, to grow up healthy and strong. So I hope you listen to the poem carefully. If you want to listen to it once again, you can log into the digital content, move to the listening section, and you can listen to the poem from there. Now in this exercise, the question is, listen to the poem and take the correct option. And the first question is, the poem talks of the relationship between a child and her. Is it father, mother or parents? Did you listen to the poem carefully? What was the answer? The poem talks of the relationship between a child and her parents. Now, the next one, it talks of a dash relationship. Is it loving relationship, uninteresting relationship or sad relationship? It talks of a loving relationship. Now, the next exercise, listen to the poem again. Fill in the second column with the name of the person who helps the child with these things. So this you can do yourself. Like I said before, you can listen to the poem once again in the digital content. But let me read out the questions to you. Here you can see a table. It has got two columns. The left side, work. The right side, who. teaches how to ride a bicycle. So from the poem, you have to identify who teaches the child to ride a bicycle, and then in the next column where it says who, you have to write down the answer there. Prepares tasty food. Listen to the poem and answer it accordingly. So complete all these questions as a homework. Now let's talk about the next section, the speaking exercise. Take turns with your elbow partner to speak about yourself. So this section is really going to help you with your speaking skills. So here, let's see what is given. My information form. Introduce yourself, give a brief introduction of your family, say 2 things about your first class teacher, list 2 of your favorite hobbies, list your favorite storybooks, list a few games that you like to play. So what you can do about this is that you have to prepare a speech based on the points given here. You have to introduce yourself, give a brief introduction of your family, say 2 things about your first class teacher, list 2 of your favorite hobbies, list your favorite storybooks, list a few games that you like to play. First, you can prepare a small note and then turn it into a speech. So once you have prepared the speech, practice it, record it, and you can submit it through Teams. So children, make sure you complete all the exercise. So once you are done with the answers, you can take a picture and send us through Microsoft Teams. So along with this video, we'll also be uploading the class notes, reading notes and worksheets based on this class. Make sure you go through it and do any submissions on time. So that's all for today. We'll see you in the next class. Till then, bye.